Hey, what's up? It's Seb from Unison. There are three things that top professional producers do different from amateurs, and as soon as I mastered these three things, my results skyrocketed. I grew my SoundCloud to over 19,000 followers and was featured on Trap City with over 20 million plays. And here's where it all started. So the first thing the amateur does that the pro doesn't is ignores workflow while the pro focuses on workflow. Here's what I mean. Amateurs recreate the same thing over and over again from scratch, wasting time. They spend all their time making a simple drum pattern or beat, often recreating the exact same pattern they already used in a previous session. Then listen to the same 8-bar loop again and again until they realize they've made no progress. Pros, on the other hand, focus on workflow. They don't waste time trying to create everything from scratch. Instead, they optimize their sessions so they can effortlessly pump out tracks. They reuse their signature sounds, systemize their process, and work smart, not hard. On top of that, they make sure they are releasing music consistently. Take a look at the discography of any top producer. They don't just release one track, they release professional quality tracks consistently. That's because the more tracks you release, the higher chance you have to land a hit. Also, the more tracks you finish and release, the better you get. Quantity leads to quality. And to release more professional quality tracks, you need to master your workflow. So, when you open up your DAW, are you rebuilding the same pieces from scratch over and over again? Wasting time? Top producers don't do that. They have specific go-to tools for every genre. Imagine every time you needed a hammer, you had to build one from scratch. That wouldn't make much sense. Well, that's exactly what you're doing as a producer if you're not using repeatable patterns and tools in your tracks. The second thing the amateur does that the pro doesn't is trial and error, whereas the pro uses proven patterns. If you're using drum patterns that aren't proven to work in your genre, your tracks will sound weird and people won't resonate with them. So, how do you know if you're using the right patterns or not? In most popular music, these 16 steps represent 1 bar of music. 1 bar has 4 beats, and where you put your drums on these 16 steps makes all the difference. For example, putting your kick here and your snare here gives you a basic pattern. The kick-snare relationship sets the foundation for your drums, but obviously, it's not as simple as having your kick and snare in the right place. Otherwise, everybody would be a multi-platinum producer. So you also have to use proper note durations. There's a big difference between a long, fat 808 and a tight, crisp clap. This is what creates the groove in most music. If you're using the wrong note durations in your drums, your tracks will be unrelatable and never develop that strong groove that makes people lock in. Also, you have whole notes, half notes, quarter notes, eighth notes, 16th notes. On top of this, there are note dynamics and other note durations such as triplets, dotted notes, etc. There's almost an infinite combination of these patterns. And if you use the wrong patterns, your tracks will sound unrelatable and will be set up for failure from the get-go. But the cool thing is, there are specific patterns that work for each genre. In fact, we've identified the top 50 drum patterns for each genre. More on that in a moment. But first, if you want your tracks to sound professional, you have to use the right elements for the genre you're making. You have kick drums, snares, closed hats, open hats, toms, rides, crashes, off snares, clavs, congas, claps, other percussion, and more. And using the wrong elements is like trying to make a pizza using celery. No matter what you do, it's not going to work. But if you use the right elements, something magical happens. Your tracks will trigger the primal instinct that makes people want to dance. See, since the beginning of time, humans have had the primal instinct to dance. And if your drums trigger this primal instinct, your tracks become so relatable that they actually become addictive. But only certain proven drum patterns trigger the primal instinct. So, how do you easily create drum patterns that are proven to work? Well, you could watch endless YouTube tutorials, try drawing in notes and guessing around. You could waste $28,000 on music school like I did. You could spend years trying to figure this out on your own, all with no guarantee of results. But if you're the kind of producer who wants to work smart, streamline the process with guaranteed results, and just focus on making professional sounding music with consistency, that's exactly why we created the Unison MIDI Drum Blueprint. The ultimate blueprint to creating perfect drums in any genre, mastering your workflow, and making your tracks addictive. Now, with the Unison MIDI Drum Blueprint, you'll get access to over 5,300 genre-specific MIDI drum patterns that you can drag and drop straight into your projects, so you can create professional sounding drum patterns quickly, easily, and consistently. And you'll have everything you need to master your workflow, finish and release music consistently, and get more plays and recognition. You'll have 1,000 full drum kits to choose from, spread across 20 genres of music. Now let me walk you through the Unison MIDI drum blueprint so you can experience for yourself how powerful it really is. Alright, so I got the Unison MIDI drum blueprint loaded up here, and I'm just going to go through a bunch of the most popular genres, show you exactly how powerful this really is, instantly create some amazing sounding drum loops, and yeah, you can see it in action. So let's jump right in. So I've got it loaded up here, the Unison MIDI drum blueprint, and inside, like all our other blueprints, we got everything categorized nicely by genre. But instead of chord progressions and melodies, inside we have 50 kits for each genre, and inside each kit you have all the drum elements you could ever need, all in MIDI format. So for example, let's start off with hip hop here. So all you got to do, open up the kit you want to try out. You can either use them as is or mix and match. Load up some sounds, which I've already done to save time. Just drag it in and press play. So just like that, we made an amazing drum loop. If I want to do another one, just bam. I'll play a melody on top of it so you can hear it in context. Pick another one as well. So as you can see, these are proven patterns for the specific genre of music, and this way you save time. You don't have to recreate your drum patterns from scratch every time. You just drag it in MIDI format, and if you want to change the sounds, you can. For example, let's solo this hi-hat here. So that's the one I'm using right now. But I can go into one of our artist series sample packs or something else. You can use this with all your own sounds as well. I can choose one of these. So it's fully customizable, unlike audio loops that are, you're locked into the sounds they've already used. So you could create pretty much an infinite amount of drum loops, but using the proven placement of the notes for each element. So cool. So let's move on to house now. And something else is that you can play these drum loops at any BPM that you want. The labeling is to show you what BPM we created it at. For example, this one we made in 130 BPM, but when you drag it into your project, it'll automatically adjust to the BPM you're working in. So it's basically the most flexible and customizable you could ever get. So let's go ahead and drag a house pattern. Let's line that up right there, and let's hit play on these. I'll load up a little melody too. If we wanted another one, we could just do it again. Also, let's try with a different melody. As you can see, if you have a great drum pattern, doesn't matter what melody you use, it'll always, fit in, sound relatable, and bring it all together for you. So something else you can do as well is go into a different kit from the kit you already used and swap out some of the elements to customize it even further and make it your own. So we can swap out some of the elements. As you can see, they're changing just like that, and then here we go. All right, cool. Let's move on to R&B now. So let's go here and let's find R&B. There's a lot of kits here. We're only going to go through about 3 per genre. For the most popular 6. Otherwise, this would take hours. So let's check out R&B here. So let's go to R&B just like that, and so let's choose maybe this one. You can drag this in just like that and press play without a melody first, so you can hear just the drums. Here's another one. And again, you can swap out the sounds to whatever you want. So if I wanted to use a different snare, you can just go into your favorite sample pack and choose a different snare. You can choose a clap. Any sound you want, you can swap out with your own or whatever you prefer. So even the kick you can swap out. Cool, so now let's play it with some melodies on top so you can hear it in context. And we can even go ahead and try a different one as well here. So let's pick one closer to the BPM that we're at, maybe around 160. And as you can see, the loops will have different elements depending on the genre. For example, you know, it might have closed hat, open hat, kick, perk. Some genres will have toms, other ones will have more percussion, etc. So, and you can move it around and really experiment to see what works best for you. Although the way we've laid it out with these labelings, as long as you use sounds, you know, with this category, it'll always sound perfect. So let's take a look at this. Awesome. So now let's move on to future bass and melodic trap. So let's go ahead, get out of R&B here. Let's go to the future bass and melodic trap genre. And let's just pick the first one here. Let's drag that in and see how it sounds. Cool, let's try a different melody as well. Try one more too. As you can see, switching the drum loop really adds a different groove to your track. No matter what chord progression or melody you use, it's really cool to experiment with different ones. And you know, you have 1,000 total kits in here spread across 20 genres, so you can even mix and match genres, create some really unique sounding drum grooves to make your music stand out. So all right, let's move on to pop and future pop, and then we got rock after that. And then yeah, hopefully you've seen by now, you know, how cool this is to have all these kits at your fingertips ready to use. So let's go ahead and load up a pop kit. So let's go to the MIDI drum blueprint. It's like pop and future pop, and let's go to something maybe in 100 BPM. Let's go ahead, drag this in, and we can see how it sounds. Let's line that up. There we go. As you can see, you have tons of options, and that's just using them as they are. You know, as I said before, you can go ahead and use different elements from different kits. For example, you could grab a kick pattern from this other kit here, go to kit 22, choose an open hat. And for the most part, it'll always sound really good because, you know, all these 50 are modeled off the top songs, so they're proven drum patterns. So even if you mix and match, it'll sound amazing. So let's move on to rock and metal, and let's go ahead and go to this genre here, rock and metal. Let's choose maybe, you know, something in 120 here. Let's drag this in. And just to show you the BPM, for example, you know, I can change my project's BPM, and you know, the drum groove will stay intact and adjust. So it's not like audio. When you adjust your BPM, it'll start sounding like trash. Like if you go too much, like, you know, since it's a MIDI, you can adjust your BPM, you can change your sounds, and it'll sound at perfect quality all the time. So let's load up a melody here as well. Let's try a different drum kit as well. So let's go ahead, choose one final drum kit and a different melody, and we'll play it together. So let's load this one up here, drag that in, and swap the melody here. Let's check it out. All right, that was really cool at the end. And finally, let's I didn't plan on doing this, but let's try you know, a hip hop drum kit in a rock track. Like, this is where you can really get creative and, you know, make music that you know, stands out, because you're doing stuff that, you know, if you didn't have the Unison MIDI drum blueprint, it would be very hard to think of how to do this. So let's actually, there's 6 elements. So let's swap out this one here. Let's see how it sounds. So that actually sounds really cool. So again, you know, you can go into a completely different genre from the one you're making. Swap stuff around and, you know, experiment, make your music sound unique, stand out. So yeah, so that's the walkthrough there. Hopefully you can see how powerful this is. We kind of just scratched the surface, but you can drag in over 1,000 drum kits, use it with all your favorite sounds, change the BPM, swap elements in and out, and you'll have drum patterns that are proven and ready to go for any track in any genre you could ever want to start. You know, no guessing around, no trying to, you know, see if it's going to match your melody. These are proven patterns that are guaranteed to sound amazing every time. As you can see, we tried it with a bunch of melodies, bunch of kits, and it sounded at a professional level every single time. Now, even at 50 cents per kit, the Unison MIDI drum blueprint would easily be worth $500. And if we later decide to release each of the 20 genres separately on our main website, we'll sell them for $17 each, totaling $340. But don't worry, as a launch special, you won't have to pay anywhere near that when you take action today. Plus, we're including 3 exclusive bonuses to help you maximize your results when you get the Unison MIDI drum blueprint. With over 5,300 MIDI drum patterns, you're gonna need some solid sounds to use with them. That's why for your first bonus, we're giving you the Unison Essential Drum Collection. This is 379 unique, genre-specific drum samples to use with your new MIDI drum patterns. So you're getting lifetime access to the Unison MIDI drum blueprint, which is a $340 value, and also the Unison Essential Drum Collection, which is a $67 value. That's a total value of $407 so far. Now, bonus number 2 is the Unison MIDI drum blueprint Advanced Implementation Training. This is an in-depth training where I'll show you how to best use the Unison MIDI drum blueprint so you can use it to its full potential, including secret tips and tricks the pros use. So you're also getting the Advanced Implementation Training, which is a $97 value. That makes a total value of $504 so far. And last but not least, bonus number 3 is the Unison MIDI Chord and Melody Essentials. This is 2,536 MIDI chord progressions and melodies to help you complete your tracks with the Unison MIDI drum blueprint. And this is a $127 value in itself, which brings up the total value of everything you're getting today to $631. But today you won't pay $631. You won't pay $400 or even $200. Because you're here during launch week, you can get the entire Unison MIDI drum blueprint with 1,000 kits across 20 genres for a total of over 5,300 patterns and all 3 exclusive bonuses for just $97 now. That's 72% off the full listed price. So click on the button below this video to grab your copy right now. On top of that, the Unison MIDI drum blueprint comes with a 60-day money-back guarantee. So you can put all these MIDI files to the test in your music, watch the improvement to your drum grooves, and make addicting tracks that amaze your listeners. And at any point, for any reason, if you're unsatisfied, just send a single email to support@unison.audio and we'll give you a full refund, no questions asked. So you really have nothing to lose here and everything to gain. So click the button below, complete your order on the next page to get instant access right now. And if you're still on the fence, remember, with the Unison MIDI drum blueprint, you'll be able to make perfect drum patterns in any genre, turbocharge your workflow, finish more tracks faster, and skyrocket your chances of success. And again, here's everything you're getting today. The Unison MIDI drum blueprint, which is a $340 value, the Unison Essential Drum Collection, which is a $67 value, the Unison MIDI drum blueprint Advanced Implementation Training, which is a $97 value, and the Unison MIDI Chord and Melody Essentials, which is a $127 value. That's a total value of $631 that you can get for just $97 now. But just a quick warning here, for this initial launch, we're only offering 1,500 copies. And based on our previous launches, these 1,500 copies will sell out extremely fast. So if you're one of the fast action taking producers, you can still get your hands on the Unison MIDI drum blueprint and have everything you need to make professional quality drum patterns quickly and effortlessly. But if you wait too long, hesitate, or put this decision off, you might miss out on this unique opportunity. So click the button below this video, complete your order on the next page, and get the Unison MIDI drum blueprint with all 3 of these exclusive bonuses right now. Now, let's talk about the final element that separates a professional producer from an amateur. The amateur doesn't invest in themselves, while the pro invests in themselves. Just look at Pharrell Williams with a net worth of $200 million. Those pieces of outboard gear alone are worth over $30,000. Do you think he got to where he is by not investing in himself? The good news is you don't have to spend $30,000 to become a pro producer. The Unison MIDI drum blueprint is only $97 this week, and it'll improve your music more than any piece of fancy studio gear you could ever buy. So right now you're at a crossroads, and the path you take from here will shape your future as a producer. What kind of producer do you want to be? Do you want to be stuck and frustrated, or do you want to be creating tracks quickly? Do you want to be not getting any recognition, or do you want to be working with top artists? Do you want to not be getting plays, or do you want to be getting the plays, recognition, and career you deserve? The choice is yours. So if you're ready to take your music to the next level, get the Unison MIDI drum blueprint and all of these 3 exclusive bonuses for only $97, click the button below this video right now. The fact of the matter is, most producers don't make it. I know that may sound harsh, but it's just the truth. 40,000 new songs are uploaded every single day. That's 1.2 million tracks every month. You need to get your hands on every advantage you can get, so your music can cut through the noise and get the attention it deserves. The best producers use the best tools. That's why 1% of the top producers earn 99% of the profit. So if you want to create addicting tracks that make people listen on repeat, work with top artists, master your workflow, get the plays you deserve, and make huge progress as a producer, the Unison MIDI drum blueprint is for you. And during this initial launch, there are only 1,500 copies available. But if you come back in a few hours or a few days, they might be all gone. So take action and click the button below, complete your order on the next page right now. The decision is yours. This has been Seth from Unison. Thanks for watching, and I hope to hear the amazing tracks you create with the Unison MIDI drum blueprint. Now, if you're still here, it's probably because you have a few questions about the Unison MIDI drum blueprint. So let me answer them for you so you can easily make a fully informed decision today. Question number 1 is, do I need special software to use the Unison MIDI drum blueprint? Nope, all you need is your DAW, such as Ableton, FL Studio, Logic Pro, Studio One, Pro Tools, Cubase, Reason, and all the other ones. The MIDI files are drag and drop, and you can use them with any of your favorite drum samples. It's both Mac and PC compatible, and there's no installation required. The second question is, are the files inside the Unison MIDI drum blueprint royalty free? Yes, all the MIDI files inside the Unison MIDI drum blueprint are 100% royalty free and cleared for commercial use. So after you take action and secure your copy today, you can use them in beats that you sell, tracks you release on Spotify, YouTube, iTunes, etc. and will never ask for a single cent, even if you make a hit song that gets 500 million plays. Number 3 is how will the Unison MIDI drum blueprint be delivered to me and how quickly. The download link for the Unison MIDI drum blueprint and all the bonuses will be sent to your email and made available in your Unison account immediately after you complete your order on the next page. You'll get instant access and use everything starting just a few minutes from now. Question number 4, is the Unison MIDI drum blueprint a one-time payment? When you click the button below this video, you can either choose to pay $97 one time or pay $39 today, then 2 more payments of $39 spread 30 days apart. It's up to you, but you do save 20 bucks if you go with the single pay option. So click the button below this video to choose your payment option right now. Question number 5 is, can't I just draw in the patterns myself? Just to be real with you, sure, you can spend hours watching YouTube tutorials, drawing in notes, attempting to play your drums live and going through tons of trial and error, but it's time consuming, frustrating, overwhelming, and there's no guarantee you'll make anything that sounds truly professional. So the choice is yours. Do you want to be sitting there drawing in notes, killing your workflow and creativity, or do you want to streamline your way to making professional sounding music you can be proud to share? Number 6 is, will this be difficult to use? Let me put it this way. If you can drag and drop a file on your desktop, you can use the Unison MIDI drum blueprint to its full potential. It's insanely simple and easy to use, and you'll absolutely love it. Number 7 is, doesn't matter what genre of music I create. Whether you like hip hop, R&B, house, rock, ambient, classical, or anything else, this is right up your alley. The Unison MIDI drum blueprint covers 20 genres and has all the MIDI drum patterns you could ever need to make perfect sounding drum patterns in any of these genres. Plus you can mix and match to make some really cool, unique stuff. Number 8 is, what's your guarantee and your refund policy? The Unison MIDI drum blueprint comes with a 60-day money-back guarantee. That means you can try it out for a full 60 days, and if you don't love it for any reason at all, just email our friendly support team at support@unison.audio and they'll give you a full refund, no questions asked. Number 9 is, okay, I'm ready to order. What do I need to do? All you gotta do is click the button below this video. When you do, you'll be taken to a completely secure order page. Then enter your information on that page, then hit submit. After you submit your order, you'll be sent an email with the download link and you'll have lifetime access inside your Unison account. And from there, you can get started immediately. So stop waiting, start making music, and lock in your copy right now by clicking the button below. Every top producer has their toolbox. That's what gives them their signature sound and makes artists want to work with them. I hope to see you add the Unison MIDI drum blueprint to your toolbox. So click the button below, complete your order on the next page, and you'll get instant access to the Unison MIDI drum blueprint and all 3 bonuses right away. The decision is yours. This has been Sep from Unison. Thanks for watching. Happy producing and cheers.